look at this bunch and the testosterone level immediately rises. Straight clear lines, combination of colors, white matte, silver, glossy black edging. Lord, in the complex it turns out to be absolute harmony and style, especially when adding primary colors. CD15, I15 is a Swedish school in everything, starting from the external concept and ending with a modern, assertive, clean sound like the water in the Ångermanälven River. How do you like the bundle I put together? Good, right? The KFQ150 shelves are definitely weak for components like the Primer 15, a Series R, or better yet, a Meta series that has become even cooler in all aspects. Though hard to imagine where else it could be better, given their price. But Brits don't eat their bread for nothing and still manage to add more crystallinity, more magic to their creation. Meta. I became lost in thought, my friends, and I still have a great deal to convey, specifically to share my experience, how the CD15 Prism sounds, and who requires it in general. What can it do? Is it worth spending your money on it, or should you simply pass by without buying it? Let's solve it together, as always. The initial noticeable aspect is the primer's size. He is absolutely atypical. We are all used to large, healthy integrals or CD players, which usually operate in class A, B, or even A. Therefore, energy consuming. Additionally, they require good cooling, which necessitates the use of large radiators to dissipate heat. All of this makes such equipment generally unsuitable for usage in average apartments or even houses, typically as a rule. There is a second approach, mini systems like Denon or Bluesound, but they usually come with digital amplification, but they look too small. They're no more cheap, don't give that hi-fi feeling, not to mention high-end. And at the same time, well, they're in between worlds. I don't like them. It's amazing how the Swedes found their style. These are very small components, but damn, when you look at them, you understand that it's really not just high class. It's a tower as a finish, in weight, and yes, they are also great in sound. Yes, I dislike digital receivers and integrated amplifiers, particularly in Class D, but this device sounds absolutely amazing. And they have their own handwriting. I am fond of him. Let us open it up and see what is inside. Do you know what the word prism means in general? In essence, this is the Primer streaming platform, which includes both Chromecast and AirPlay. I have already shown you the Primer Prism app, and of course it is not as good as Wim Home, but it is generally suitable for its tasks. Spotify Connect is available with an application for this device. For Apple enthusiasts, they can obtain AirPlay. For all others who are less successful like me, there's Chromecast for Android fulfilling our needs. If you possess such a stack of compact discs, then this object is specifically designed for you. Insert, listen, and, well, you have to make payments in order to access streaming services like Tidal. Although, you know, what's the cost now? In my opinion, 200 rubles. But it won't be the right subscription. I suggest connecting to the American service, as there is a completely different price available there. This is $30, friends. By the way, I tested my discs on it. Michael Jackson, Rammstein, Pet Shop Boys. And you know, I had to listen to the album from start to finish. Well, magic is definitely there. The sound quality is great, even with the initial kefs, from which you don't expect such liveliness. Naturally, it is the merit primarily of the amplifier and subsequently of the source. I love, of course, to analyze, but unscrewing bolts is not very interesting, especially with a mechanical screwdriver. Please advise friends which one to choose electronic. I had a Xiaomi, but it broke. Nevertheless, the European approach is usually fundamental. And even the lid, I never tire of reiterating, it is incredibly heavy, I would even say brutal and unyielding in its weight and presence. Well, when such power is incorporated into the integrals, I comprehend. But in this particular scenario, we have a CD, and it is truly amazing, remarkable, and extraordinary in general. Listen, congratulations friends, splendidly. Yes, there is available space, but it's not that abundant overall. Taking into account that it's still a CD, I can provide you with instances where pricier devices have a greater amount of free space. Much greater. And everything is fine here. You see the branded boards, the fiberglass is thick enough, European so to speak, quality-wise. It's all good, no issues. We possess a tray that corresponds. Regrettably, I am unable to understand the brand it is. Well, Primare cannot make his own drives, that is natural. Because even such high-end companies, as a general rule, typically purchase these drives. Or perhaps they manufactured them internally on their own. Your opinion? Write in the comments. Specifically for you, from all angles, so you know what you're purchasing, what you're paying for. In my view, it is more than well done, exceeding expectations. And by the way, from this angle I will show you now. Legs. I draw your attention to them again. They constructed of metal with a rubber lining, there are a total of 3 of them. Did they cut corners on funding or what? Is the quantity 4? Hegel does the same. Why? Here are Europeans, they use 3 supports. In my opinion, 4 is still better. Your thoughts? Please comment. Mega minds. Also note our background to avoid immediate questions. No room for doubt. Clear and concise communication is vital. Firstly, it is clearly wired internet. This marks the initial moment. The second aspect is that we possess an antenna here, both the first and the second, as Bluetooth is also required in this case. A typical power connector with grounding, which once again cannot help but please. We have optical coaxial 2 antennas, analog output, which is also highly significant because it allows you to connect this device to some extremely outdated amplifier or even a power amplifier that is decades old. Yes, friends, because there is a volume control present. And please, let's proceed, so to speak, to explore and embrace the diverse musical genres in the vast expanse of audio philosophy. I have an affinity for it. In conclusion, my friends, I will close the lid now. You don't mind? Same, right? This gap, by the way, once again drawing your attention to it, is a very cool design solution. In general, these 2 devices, namely the i15 CD and the i15 power amplifier, which we recently reviewed, work together to deliver a very clean and punchy sound, surprisingly enough. Although, once again, I will reiterate that I am not a big fan of Class D, but nonetheless, I acknowledge that with each iteration it becomes increasingly flawless and it truly performs well, with high quality and precision that continues to impress me more and more with each passing day. Yes, maybe for really twisted audiophiles like me, it can be felt, but believe me, for most people who want to get a bundle up to 300,000 rubles, well, it's more than good. Once again, there is extra functionality in the form of a CD, which is always nice. To conclude my review, I would like to mention that although it pains me to admit, Class D can deliver impressive sound, my friends, truly remarkable sound. So it's up to you. I personally will not purchase this item for myself, but I will provide it to my dear clients or even relatives if they desire something that is not very large, fashionable, and adaptable. Your call, your pick.